Tidal Power by David
and Kavisha.
So one of the ways of generating tidal power is pre-tidal stream generators. They work nearly exactly like wind energy, but underwater. A horizontal underwater tidal current turns the turbines, and the rotation generates electricity using the generators inside of them.
Preview.
So, another form of tidal generation is called the tidal barrage system. It's basically like a hydroelectric dam, except with a turbine underneath it right there. And the tidal dam separates the high tide from the low tide, and as the high tide moves through the turbine and into the area with the low tide, it spins the turbine and generates electricity.
So probably the grandest way of generating tidal energy was dynamic tidal power, where a gigantic dam many kilometers long is built off of the coastline into a tidal current that runs parallel to the shoreline, and it essentially generates pressure differences with high and low tide, and it works almost the exact same as barrage after the pressure difference is created.
So now we'll move into the social pros and cons of tidal electricity generation. So a social pro of tidal generation is it can have a dual purpose. So it can be used as a storm surge barrier. If a giant wave or monsoon comes in, it will protect the citizens near the coast. And it will generate electricity at the same time. A con is that it costs a lot of money. So big corporations and politicians who look at it will say, it costs too much money, we can't afford it. And therefore there will be no support, and no one will choose to generate electricity this way.
Now we'll be moving into the economic benefits and bad points of tidal power. So one of the benefits for the economy of tidal power is tourism. The Annapolis and Lawrence tidal power stations can attract over 40,000 tourists to see how it's generated, but there is potential to have possibly over 400,000 of them. These tidal power stations could also double as info centers about tidal power. There are also cons about generating tidal power in the economy. So it can hurt sea-based industries like fishing. The building of tidal dams or generators can disrupt where the fish are, and thus people that depend on fishing won't have any more fish.
Now for the environmental pros and cons of tidal generation. A pro would be that there is no pollution generated from a tidal generator. So this means better air quality and a superior step up from many other forms of electricity generation. A con would be ecosystem division, as some forms of aquatic life can be separated by the dam and force different migratory patterns, as well as acoustic impacts with noise from the dam itself.
Now it is time to talk about the ideal application of tidal power inside of Canada. ideal application would be in the Bay of Fundy between Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. The Bay of Fundy has the largest tides in the world that can go over 15 meters. The best system to be used in the Bay of Fundy would probably be tidal stream generators. The dams used in DTP could disrupt the landscape, while tidal streams would be less noticeable and would still work as the tide goes in and out.
Preview.
In conclusion, tidal stream generators, tidal barrage generators, and dynamic tidal power is the way to go for future electricity generation because of the social, economic, and environmental pros. This is a very good way to go for future electricity generation.